This is it right here. Oh my god, that's low-key terrifying, chat. Oh my god.
Coming back, because always the mission is first. That's the skulls are getting cracked.
Though no one knew it at the time,
Whoa.
Alexander Kenua was about to do something unthinkable. His self-recorded videos give us a chilling glimpse into his twisted mind in the days before he committed a truly disturbing act.
Do you see a bag of charcoal? Go ahead and open it.
What is it, Alex?
That's only part of it. I tasted something. It's
Dude.
principle of your sauce. Some spice, full baked spice.
So this whole thing happens to that. You keep doing that shit again, that's gonna keep happening.
Oh my god. He whipped it up like it was chicken, dude. That ain't cool. Oh my god, that's terrifying. Like, why is somebody, like, why is that in somebody's head that they could just do that? And then the way he's talking, like, that ain't the only one. Like, that is terrifying, chat.
On the morning of May 25, 2012, 37-year-old Kujo Bonsafo Agye Kodye, an international student from Ghana, went out for a morning jog and never came home. Kujo has spent the last 6 months living with the family of one of his friends, Dr. Anthony Kinua, a physics lecturer at Morgan State University. And when Kujo failed to return home that evening, the family grew concerned. That concern evolved into outright fear when the family discovered that Kujo's wallet, ID, and phone were still in the basement.
What the heck?
Even if Kujo had
weird.
decided to go out somewhere without telling the family, there was no chance he would have left these items behind.
Yeah, like,
Feeling that
yeah,
something
if
was
you're doing
wrong,
anything, I
the
feel like you
Kinuas
at least need
called
your
the
wallet and
police.
phone.
They had no idea just how wrong things were. Although the police responded immediately to the report and sent detectives over to interview the Kinua family and search the property, nothing of note was found, apart from a dead fox in a container behind the Kinua's home.
Whoa.
This curious finding will later prove integral in the most sickening way.
Whoa,
Eventually,
a
cadaver
dead
dogs are
fox?
brought
That
in
ain't
to go
cool.
over the wooded area behind the Kinua's home, but they find
Red flag
nothing.
number 1.
The only thing of note uncovered is the fact that red pepper flakes have been sprinkled on the ground in the house, specifically in the basement. This is another detail that will prove crucial later. It seemed like the case was rapidly getting cold, but an unexpected
He did
discovery
it in
was
the
about
guy's
to
house in
change
his own,
everything.
like in the guy's own basement.
4 days after Kujo's disappearance, Jared Kinua, the youngest boy in the family, was down in the basement when he found something that made his blood run cold.
The youngest.
After confronting his older brother Alex about it, Jared told the rest of the family what he'd found, and the police were once again quickly called to the scene. In an interview with detectives, Jared revealed the nightmare he found in the basement.
We're here today to talk about an incident that occurred last night. Why don't you go ahead, just in your own words, tell me what happened.
Last night, right before I took a shower, I was gonna go get my laundry bag. So I went down to the basement and I opened the laundry door and I saw my blanket on top of a box. And as I was lifting the blanket up, I saw two pans for baking, and in between them was a cutting board. So I lifted up the pans, and in it I saw 3 different objects, and they were kind of black with some gravy substance looking at them, and it looked like hands and a head. And
Oh my
as soon as I saw
God.
that, I really couldn't distinguish whether it was a face or somebody's face I knew or something. But I looked at it and I stopped myself. I stopped what I was doing. I went upstairs and I asked Alex, come down here. And I asked him, what is it? And he said, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's none of your business and all that stuff.
Dude,
And
he didn't even
started
try to, like,
avoiding my question.
avoid it. He straight was like,
Alongside
don't worry
interviewing
about it. So
Jared,
that's obviously
detectives
his
also
shit.
spoke with Alex about this
That's
disturbing and
disgusting.
suspicious
Oh my
discovery.
God.
As Alex has read his rights, the interview hits a slight snag.
Are you willing to talk to me after being advised of your rights?
And that's, again, a yes or a no question. Same thing as the one on top. Okay, and then your initial right there. And, oh, wait, gotta read that last one. What this one says is, have I threatened you or forced you in any way to make you talk to me?
Yes.
Have I really, or yes or no?
Yes. I was.
Do you think I did? I did threaten you? Because I'm not trying to threaten you. If you took it that way.
Not threatened, but I just take it as yes.
Well, tell me then how because I don't want you to feel that way. So if you feel that way, I want to make sure you know that I'm not threatening you and I'm not trying to scare you or anything like that.
I'm in a confined room in an undisclosed location with behind a locked door with a CCTV.
The door's not locked?
Detectives, I don't know. I'm threatened right now.
Okay, well, let me make you feel a little bit better then. The door is not locked, okay?
I feel threatened.
We're in, well, I'm explaining it to you, okay? We're not in an undisclosed location, we're in Forest Hill.
Okay. For one, he's not being threatened. He's intimidated and nervous. So he's not being threatened by them sitting there. Like, I don't know. Like, does that make sense?
It's about 20 minutes from where you live, okay? It's an industrial park. And the door's not locked, and I am not armed. I don't have a gun on me at all. You can see right there. And neither does that detective.
Though there are different policies, it's typically recommended that officers aren't armed in the interrogation room. It helps calm the person being interviewed and prevents them from saying they were threatened or they were scared because the officer was armed. As well, officers don't want to wear a gun in order to lower the chance that someone takes it from them.
Dude, yeah, I don't want that.
Well, I can't take my mind away. But there's no guns in here. No one wants to threaten you. Okay, so you understand I'm not trying to threaten you?
Right.
Okay.
I'll sign it.
Okay.
Less than 10 minutes into the interview, and Alex is already handling this differently than most people in this situation would. But is this strange behavior an indication that he knows something about Cujo's disappearance?
Can you tell me what
Wait, so are they
happened?
Yes, last week I collected a jackal, foxes like roadkill. And usually I trap animals. That's what sometimes I can catch, sometimes a jackal. But this morning I saw it's like a wild dog. I can give you a description for a wild dog. That's not wild dog, it's like a coyote type. It's like they have fur on it. Maybe it had like less than an inch of fur. But my cat was outside and I just happened to be upstairs looking outside and I seen a coyote. So I figured, you know what? I remember catching that fox that was roadkill. So I figured let me gut it up and, try and catch it.
Alex continues to ramble about the wild dog for several minutes, derailing the conversation.
That's weird. Like, why you getting roadkill for one? Two, why you gutting it? And then what are you going to do when you catch it? You ain't going to eat it. Or you just doing it to be, because, I don't know.
And giving the officers a lot of seemingly useless information. But there's actually a sneaky reason he's done this.
You realize what your brother thought, though, right? Or thinks. He thinks that it's pieces of Cujo is what he thought.
Oh my goodness.
Did you realize he thought that? Or you didn't realize till I just said so?
He said that he saw there was something that was blacking him, like he couldn't really describe it, and he said he wasn't sure. And he mentioned it to my father and mother.
Okay.
Nothing but no human skull.
Human what now?
Skull, like human parts or anything. Because he said there was a head, and I said there's a jackal head right there. The coyote forks, and the paws and the inside. I couldn't bring the intestines in because they're already eaten. Right. So it's just parts of it. And besides, I wanted to skin it, try to make like a dream catcher.
Were they parts of Cujo?
No. But the dogs that came out today, they were searching and everything. I'm sure they'd have picked the scent,
Alex is incredibly confident when he uses the cadaver dogs to assert his innocence. But why is he so sure the dogs won't pick up a scent in the basement? One obvious explanation actually has to do with the red pepper.
I was about to say, how did the dogs not pick it up? Like, it's literally just sitting by the washer.
Flakes that were found scattered throughout the floor of the basement. It's a commonly believed yet disproven myth that red pepper flakes can fool cadaver dogs into not smelling human remains.
How do you know
What they
that? How
can
you
do
figure
is
that
potentially
out?
burn the
That
dog's
is-
nose, but this would still not prevent them from indicating remains if there were any. However, as will later be uncovered, there is a far more sickening reason that the dogs didn't pick
What?
up on anything in the Kinua home. Still, it's entirely possible Alex believed the myth about red pepper, especially given some of his self-recorded videos.
Now the question is about planning the unthinkable, because now how are the new powers going to use nuclear, biological, and chemical weapons? Sooner or later, the countryside is going to be torn in battlefields. It already is in battlefields. It's slowly erupting.
Protect your necks. Nobody is safe, no matter where you are. It could be even in your own room. It could be even in your own school. It could be in anywhere.
But why would your brother think they were human parts? Because he's been around animals. He said you guys used to cut up animals back on the farm or something like that.
We've cut up goats not far from here, no.
But he seems to think that what he saw tonight were human parts as opposed to animal.
Well, I showed him the carcass that I actually had, so
He's just confused, you think?
I would say he's confused. He's very smart.
Alex quickly steals a glance at the detectives after saying this, potentially trying to measure their reaction to his self-contradictory response. With Alex adamantly sticking to his story about the cut-up animal parts, detectives decide to switch gears.
You know where Cujo's at?
Oh my god. This guy is crazy. Like, why is he talking about... There's something on in his head. Like, he's recording himself doing all this stuff, and somehow nobody's picking up that something's off. And I'm calling it right now that he's doing this to these animals and stuff, and it's just, like, because he's kind of off in the brain a little bit, it's like he wants more and more and more, and is what it feels like. And it's just, I don't know, it's very unsettling and like makes me sick to my stomach.
After he mentioned his case, because I remember several years ago, he had a charge. I think it was something on I don't know the details specific. That's the only details I don't know of this case, and he never spoke about it even when he went to immigration.
Alex's rambling can also be seen many times throughout his strange and disturbing vlogs.
The sun in the sky. The sun is
Yeah,
very
decent room.
powerful.
It's decorated. Ooh, we got some Modern Warfare 2.
Flares it can deliver to this planet itself. You can knock out every electronics, every mechanical,
He has such a
electromechanical
negative, like,
apparatuses around the world.
he's like
Even
an
in the sky itself. Airplanes will not fly.
his way of thinking is like interesting. Like, he's very smart, it feels like, and he could definitely use his brain for good, but it immediately twists into crazy negativity for like no reason. But like, it's just where it goes naturally. It's like nothing's trying to fight it.
Cell phone towers knocked out.
In an attempt to deal with Alex's knack for rambling, the detectives decide to be direct with him.
Yes, did you kill Cujo?
No.
Did you cut him up?
No.
Because you're interested to see what you said you dissect these things surgically, did you?
No. I've seen morticians do that.
Right. I mean,
Not in
do you
person.
ever have curiosity to do it yourself?
No. My curiosity does not extend that far. I've been exposed to body parts at an early age. I've seen people's brains blown out. I've seen people dead and everything. Whatever.
Where is that?
You know about shockumentaries?
Oh.
On TV, you're saying?
Shockumentaries.
On TV?
What is that?
I don't know what you mean. Documentaries.
What? Executions? Shocking? What even is
Is it a
that?
TV program?
Shockumentary, yeah. Some of them are on internet.
Sensing that they're not going to get anything useful from Alex,
What-
detectives
what
end the
is
interview
that?
and conduct a search of the Kinua
Don't
home.
waste his videos of
What if
people
I told you
dying.
this was the
That's
last
awful
ad
and
you would ever see?
disgusting.
completely unaware of the horror they were about to walk into. In the basement, officers retrieved the charred aluminum roasting pans that had allegedly had human remains in them. Not far from the pans were what appeared to be clippings of short, dark hair that had been wrapped in a paper towel and thrown in a wastebasket. In the laundry room, they find a roasting bag that could usually be used for poultry, scarred by the same charred residue seen on the pan, and treated with an oily cleaner.
Making me sick.
In the room, they also found a camo t-shirt with what appeared to be bloodstains down the front. But this is only the beginning of the disturbing discoveries.
Chad, I don't
Alex's
know.
bedroom is locked with a deadbolt and marked with a wooden sign reading, "Either some greater force of terror than death must be devised, or death will not be enough for coercion."
Observe the sunlight, the shadows. The shadow. Call me Shadow Man.
In Alex's bedroom, officers find the shockumentaries he mentioned, as well as multiple leather whips, a large hunting knife, and 2 machetes. These discoveries are overshadowed by what the officers find next.
On the underside of Alex's mattress is a massive bloodstain, one so large that officers immediately theorize that whoever the blood belongs to is almost certainly dead. While they weren't able to find the body parts that Jared claimed to have
How does that
seen,
just happen?
everything else the
Dogs,
officers found in the
dogs don't see
basement
that.
points towards Alex being involved in Cujo's death. Eager to find out the truth behind this mystifying case, detectives sat back down with Alex for another interview. His explanation for the blood is shocking, to say the least.
You and I and Chris, again, we're not here to get a confession from you or anything like that. One of the things that I asked you is I'm worried about you, right? Because let me explain why. There is psychology to that, and I'm going to tell you why. Because let's say that someone robs a bank, and I find out that this person has a wife that's dying of cancer. Is that the same as the guy that comes in wearing a mask and puts a gun in somebody's head because he wants to get a party out with that money? Are they the same 2 people?
The crime is a crime.
Already, this detective appears to be taking a more strategic approach than the previous detectives, setting the stage for a conversation that will make Alex actually want to confess. One way he does this is by quickly introducing the idea that committing a crime does not make someone evil, and that certain people may commit crimes for reasons that are morally justified. The officer doesn't believe this, but is saying it to try to get Alex to admit to something. Unlike in his last interview, however, the detectives are ready for his rambling.
Do you know what forensic science is all about?
I don't believe what TV says too much about it. However, I'm aware that it's an art and it's for science.
Mm-hmm. Do you believe that deoxyribonucleic acid is an indicator to identify who an individual is?
It can play because you have the X and Y chromosomes, and you can also identify, the genome sequence from it. You can extract it.
So you can tell the difference between the blood of a fox and the blood of a human being?
Yes.
What do you think the blood under your mattress showed?
That's a blood from period.
From period?
Yeah, a woman's period.
And what woman would that be?
Oh, she doesn't stay anymore.
What about the blood that was in
the box? The box. That's a fox blood there.
What if I told you that it wasn't? What if I told you that that was human blood?
Oh, then I have to show you exactly. Was it dried up or especially?
There's a little bit of both.
Then either that was planted there because I did have the fox there when my father saw me there. He told me to take that out the house with my knowledge. So we take it out because it was kind of small. So I took it out.
While searching Alex's room, police discovered a journal that contained extensive notes on how detectives and suspects commonly behave in interrogations. Some of his notes included, quote, "The capacity for resistance is diminished by disorientation. The end of an interrogation should be planned before questioning starts. The kinds of questions asked, the methods employed, and even the goals sought may be shaped by what will happen when the end is reached. The poorest interrogations are those that trail off into an inconclusive nothingness. The successful interrogation of a strongly resistant source ordinarily involves two key processes: the calculated regression of the interrogatee and the progression of an acceptable rationalization. If these two steps have been taken, it becomes very important to clinch the new tractability by means of conversion. In other words, a subject who has finally divulged the information sought, and who is given a reason for divulging which saves his self-esteem, his conscience, or both, will often be in a mood to take the final step of accepting the interrogator's values.
Oh my god. This dude... He's literally insane. He's thought about... This is all he's thought about, all he thinks about, and all he's written down. He's thought about interrogations, which is crazy, because it veers way off from the animals. You ain't killing animals and doing all that stuff, and now that I think about it, it's the same with the documentaries. He's been on this for a while, and it looks like, I don't know, that ain't okay, and that's weird, and why is he doing that?
His journal could explain in part why Alex keeps derailing the officer's questions.
So, would you say, was Cujo a violent person?
He had a tendency, I wouldn't necessarily say to be violent, but you can speak to every witness or even people who knew him.
Well, you know I'm speaking to you because you knew him very well.
No, I did not. No, I did not. I knew of him. I did not know him well. He never shared with me personal information about his life up until he got incarcerated. After then, he started talking. He came out much more like someone different.
In 2007, 5 years earlier, Cujo was accused of assaulting a female graduate student at Morgan State University, the same school Alex currently attends, and trying to scare her into dating him by obtaining her social security number and phone number. Cujo wasn't only expelled from the school, but he was found guilty of a fourth-degree offense, stalking, harassment, and sentenced to 18 months in prison. Toward the end of his sentence, Cujo's visa was revoked and he was sent to a federal facility in Texas.
Oh, shoot.
Dr. Kenua, Alex's father, helped Cujo find legal representation. After his release, Cujo moved in with the Kenuas. Although Alex is stating that he doesn't know if Cujo is violent, that's not quite true. He referenced Cujo's case in the previous interview, and even went so far as to say that Cujo talked to the Kenuas about it.
You know where Cujo's at?
After he mentioned his case, because I remember several years ago, he had a charge. He mentioned something to my brother about the woman who got him in trouble, something like that.
Alex seems to be downplaying Cujo's dark past, and it could be because he has an unsavory past of his own.
So,
Yeah, his past I don't even know anymore.
You yourself were caught up in a situation.
What could he even done with his life? I don't even
at
know.
college, where you were accused of an act of violence. If I wasn't there, I don't know the circumstances behind it.
Let me just break it down real quick.
Sure, if you want to.
Well, I could be in a body bag right now. That's how I look at it. I stay with people who want to jeopardize our college experience and also our education in the world. I just happen to be in the mix of it. I could have moved. I should have moved, actually. But because of that person and their behavior, they're jeopardizing my safety, bringing people at unknown times, and then pinpointing rumors on me. I'm not just any rumors, feeding threats. So I had to defend my life.
You stop the threat.
I mean, definitely I don't. The only fact is that how I went about it, because I didn't go outside to look for him. He came to look for me. He came into our apartment. And he could have been off.
Whoa, what are we talking about? Is this like an old charge?
He is on some of the times.
So your perception is you stopped the threat. He was a threat, and you had to stop that threat. I think that's a fair assessment, don't you? Okay.
Before Alex had returned home from college, right before Cujo's disappearance, he spent a few days behind bars.
Whoa.
Police spoke with Alex's roommate, Devin Keyes, about Alex's strange behavior leading up to the incident.
Hello? This is Devin. Hey, sir, it's Detective Lane. So, like I was telling you before, I wanted to talk to you about Alex, and you were his roommate on a daily basis?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How long had you guys been living together?
We've been in the same dorm for 2 years, but that was my first year actually living in the same room with him.
Now, were you a friend to Alex, or you guys just lived together?
Yeah, I was a friend of his.
Okay. In the last couple years, had his behavior changed at all?
His behavior started changing in, I'll say, about December or January of this last year.
Okay. What kind of things did you see that made you think his behavior was changing?
Well, he just started acting different.
People could have been united.
What does that mean?
This is an ancient mistake with some man-made. Why? Why did they let that go?
What is he talking about?
Did you ever see him have a skeleton hand? Not a real skeleton, but like a medical skeleton type of thing.
Yeah, he had one of those.
He had one of those.
What?
Now, when did he
I
start
see.
carrying that around?
I'll say around March, maybe.
Did he ever do anything in his rooms that were strange or out of the ordinary?
He had weird videos that he used to watch, and then he had like chanting books or something like that.
Chanting books?
I call them chanting books because they're not like normal. Well, I don't want to say normal religious books, but I was something kind of like voodoo, I guess.
Voodoo kind of thing?
Yeah.
The videos you're speaking of, what kind of videos would they be?
War videos, like torture, stuff along that end.
Okay.
Other people who knew Alex also noticed a change in his behavior. Alongside carrying a medical skeleton around, Alex started going by the nickname Mufasa. The latter fact became known when an RA had responded to a situation in which someone going by the name Mufasa had broken a window in an apartment building. But this wasn't the incident that resulted in Alex's time in jail.
Oh,
the young
so
man
this was before.
he assaulted down there at your dorm room. Did him and that young man have a problem? Like, was there kind of tension between the two of them, or did it surprise you that he did that?
It surprised me because, like, just the other couple of days before it happened, like, they were just talking about regular stuff, and then that happened.
In an exclusive interview with Ewu, Joshua Caesar, the man that Alex attacked, talks about his close call with death.
I knew Kenua as an acquaintance. We both went to the same school together, Morgan State University.
Joshua said that he was meeting a friend after graduation and decided to wait for her at the apartment where Alex also happened to live.
And when I walked through that door, as soon as I crossed the threshold, I heard what I know to be God at this point now. Put your arm up. I felt something waving over me. And so I put my arm up, and underneath my arm, I could see a man standing there with a black sheet over his head. And I was knocked unconscious.
The man in the black sheet was none other than Alex Kenua. Alex had attacked Joshua with a baseball bat wrapped in barbed wire and chains.
What the heck is he on?
I woke up in the back of the house.
What makes you do that?
Fortunately, Joshua's friends, Mac and Meriwether, were nearby to intervene before things took an even deadlier turn.
Mac opened the door. He says, "Stay in here. Don't go anywhere." I said, "What happened?" He said, "Stay here." Then he closed the door. About a few seconds later, I hear a bunch of rumbling, dum, 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 and commotion. I didn't know what was going on out there still to that time. Matt came back inside and he said, "Come out." When I came out, there was blood all over the place. And I didn't realize at that time it was mine.
With no memory of the attack, Joshua had to ask his friends about what happened that day.
Oh my
He said,
God.
well, Matt said, we were playing the game when we heard a scream, a shriek. We ignored it. So Meriwether said, "Nope, that didn't sound right." And opened the door, and he saw Kenya was standing over top of me with a knife. There was a struggle and a fight over my body. That noise and commotion I said that I heard in the restroom that I was waiting in till Max said to come back out was them fighting off Kenua a second time from coming in to get back to me.
Mac and Meriwether bravely fought off Alex until he fled to a nearby wooded area.
He was found by campus police shortly after and charged with assault and reckless endangerment. After paying a bond of $220,000, Alex's family brought him home on May 23rd, 2 days before Cujo went missing. Joshua's injuries included a shoulder fracture and multiple skull fractures. He also lost sight in his left eye permanently. Joshua credits his survival to his friends that protected him from Alex and the campus police officers that kept him awake after losing so much blood. As horrific as the attack on Joshua was, it was far from the only incident involving Alex.
Yeah. I beat open your bed and I jerked off and I squashed on it. You got something to say, man? You can look at it on your bed. Hope you have a good night's sleep. BP on them freaks. Super freak, huh? You like them super freaks? Well, I got you one. It's all over your bed. Playing games with out here. Who's playing with you? Nobody's playing with you. Matter of fact, I don't have the respect to be called no more.
So this will fucking happen to that. You keep doing that shit again, that shit's gonna keep happening. Listen, next time shit will be that. Here's what's gonna happen. See your fucking clothes? Go look in your bed. Look, I left you fucking surprises. That's just me.
Devin also had some insight into this incident between Alex and a fellow Morgan State student.
Are you familiar with something when Alex maybe went into somebody's bedroom, did something on their bed? Did you hear that story?
Oh, yes, I heard that story.
Okay, who told you
Dude,
about that, Alex?
I forget I'm live. What is going on? Like, dude, that seemed like just genuine, like, just like being pissed off and wanting to screw somebody over. Like, even when I'm mad, I wouldn't even do any of that stuff. They ain't gonna, like, they ain't gonna bother, somebody ain't gonna bother me that I'm gonna go steal their shit. If they bother me that much, I'm gonna be, screw them, they out of my life, I'm gonna ignore them. I don't get it.
He told me.
And what did he tell you?
He said that somebody disrespected him, so he disrespected them every time.
And did he tell you what he did?
He went to the guy's bedroom and on their bed.
Did he tell you how they disrespected him in the first place?
No, he wouldn't tell me that.
Okay. Do you think there really was an argument between him and that gentleman, or you think this is just something he was imagining?
I would say it was something that he either imagined or he just took out of hand.
It wasn't just Alex's friends who had to deal with his baseless accusations.
How does he have friends?
Right now, I'm following somebody who I thought was watching over here, getting a phone call. Not even him. See right there? All in the world will make sense.
All the names are put on
What
the
did that?
board.
What did he say? That didn't make sense to me.
Who I thought was watching.
Baseless accusations.
And right now, I'm following somebody who I thought was watching over here, getting a phone call. Not even him. See right there?
What the heck? What's the point?
All in the world will make sense.
All the names are put on the board. Now, as it tells a story, and then unfolds as a scarecrow has returned. And the little boy that was picked up has released the scarecrow to steal the clothes. He must each individually face, deal with clothes. This is another lovely point because people are infected now. They're infected with a virus that is going to get them, and the dream is time to a nightmare. A very few will survive.
Based on his self-recorded videos and the accounts from those who knew him, it seems like Alex's aggression was ramping up during March, April, and May of 2012, before finally culminating in the terrifying attack on Joshua Caesar. All of these incidents involve Alex taking extreme actions based on perceptions that have no basis in reality. Realizing that this could be a possible motivation for Alex to have killed Cujo, the detectives dive into trying to uncover the truth behind Cujo's disappearance. Nothing can prepare them for what Alex eventually reveals.
The issue of Morgan State, that guy, you perceived him to be a threat. It's not good. And you perceived him to be a threat. And then I asked you if Cujo was a threat, and you initially, like, no, like, I don't really even know. Well, if he was involved in terrorist activities, if he was involved with bad people or bad things that were going on, and he's living at your parents' home, under their roof, with your siblings and yourself, how would you not say that he's not a threat?
Like Cujo's case, as far as for him staying with our family, he stayed with our family before.
Mm-hmm.
He has done what he has to do, and that's when he, after getting arrested and all that, his behavior shifted.
But you're so vague about that.
No, what I mean is that his behavior shifted is as far as for how he went about his business. It's more so, people can't tell you much more whether he was much more involved with people or less more introverted.
Alex seems to be having difficulty explaining himself the more the detective engages with his logic. Perhaps it's growing harder for him to make denials. Alex then alleges something about Cujo that's somehow even more shocking than anything else revealed so far.
When you start connecting the pieces together, to me it made more sense that, he's trying to get himself back up on his feet.
Mm-hmm.
However, at the same time, he may not necessarily be doing that, He may have some other ulterior motives. And especially speaking to my mother, and who mentioned earlier that he's having troubles going to the basement to use the washer. And I spoke to him. Asked if Cujo put his hands on him. And that's when I knew that something was wrong. And then I just went ahead and just fixed it. I didn't know something, but something that happened.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anything happened.
How do you feel about that?
What does it mean?
It doesn't make you angry?
Anger is a big thing too. Anger is something. However, don't get mad, get wise.
So couldn't be getting wise, stopping the threat?
Stopping the threat could be something.
The pain is coming, the pain is going. They couldn't believe it, but now it's flowing. They fucking saw it. They got their mouths zipped up, cause they know when they up, it's gonna get zipped up and thrown across the cut. They could have sorted. They could have sorted out the bodies, moving down it, but then now it's so distorted.
Listen, you are responsible for what happened to Cujo. As far as his death goes, now, why you committed that act that caused that, that's what I need to understand.
I do know that he has been manipulative and taking advantage of my father's good heart and my family's kindness.
You're not going to stand for that. Is that fair?
Right. And on top of that, he also gives us signs, like I say, classifiers, terrorist behavior. Well, I do know. But I know how he acts and everything because you look at my bookshelves and the type of books and material that I read, with him, he sat directly next to my library where I have those type of books there. And every time I noticed, he would go through them and he would look at me he would give me a certain look. He would give me a look like he doesn't want me to find something. He hides something. So every time I'll come downstairs, he would rush to hide something. I'm like, what is he hiding? What is he doing? Whenever I went to my room, my things were moving around. So he was definitely in my room.
I mean, maybe you just sound crazy.
Please.
You're insane.
Tell me what it was that put it over the top where you said, this is it.
I asked Cujo to put his hands on me. Thought about it or dreamt about it.
So, was this something that you planned or was it fairly imminent when you confronted him?
I didn't confront him. I told him already that night.
Tell me. What did you say?
I spoke to him briefly, arranged my side of the room, made him take all his shit to one corner, put all my stuff there, fixed up everything. And I just asked him some brief questions because he started working out and all that, trying to do his muscles and all that. I was like, okay, don't fight, especially people who come to my family. I do something else.
Tell me how I Alex telling you what you did?
I mean, this confession, yeah.
So how did you kill him?
I won't say I killed him. Now,
I'm asking you that though.
so basically, I spoke to him, and that was it.
And then what did you do?
After speaking to him,
Did you hit him with a hatchet? Did you hit him with a pipe?
I won't go into detail. Life is terrible. But it could be even more terrible. My family, I could be burning my family right now.
With this proclamation, Alex has fully admitted that he believes he killed Cujo in order to protect his family.
I don't know the truth. So again, you're a logical, well-thought man, right? Who was there when you took his life? Just you and him? Because he can't talk.
Just as the detectives start to make progress, things take a turn for the bizarre.
I talk to dead people.
Well, right now, I'm not interested in talking to anyone down. I'm only interested in one person, and that's Alex. That's my only interest.
Whether or not Alex genuinely believes that he can somehow communicate with the dead, the phrasing,
But you realize how he literally... I'm twitching, hold on. But you realize how he literally, like, engages with the talk about, I had to do something about it. I did something about it. Or that's how he would deal with it. Like, stuff like that. It's obvious. Like, now he's just being dumb and not explaining anything. Because I don't know what he's achieving by keeping back all this stuff.
and tone of his retort, as well as the fact that he's bringing this up unprompted in a serious murder investigation, arguably betrays his intent to be defiant. He doesn't want to roll over just yet. Detectives have to once again do their best to get him on track.
But clearly, you perceive Cujo as a threat to your family. There was a point in time where a decision was made by you that this has got to stop. This is going to end right here. There's two things I don't know. Is it something that was a spontaneous because of something that he did? Or is this something that you said, this is how I'm going to fix this problem?
It wasn't spontaneous. I look at it as Cujo, when he started doing the things he did, started moving from house to house, and I knew that something was up. And his personality, just based on his fact analysis that I was
fact analysis that he conducted.
Something's about to go, and I knew it was either my family, period.
What made you think that? What did he do?
And I just played some music and went to work.
I know what you mean by you went to work, but I need you to explain to me how you went to work.
I'll give you that with a cigarette and a tape recorder.
After hours of grueling investigation and interrogations, Alex is finally willing to give up the details of this crime. However, no one was prepared for the depths of his depravity, nor the stomach-churning reality of what happened to Cujo Codier. It seems the officers take Alex outside for a cigarette and continue recording the audio of his disturbing confession.
Where did Cujo want to go? You're not going to find his body. Can you tell me? I mean, I can direct you to one. Okay, where is it? It's right under your nose. Not at the police station, I hope. No. Okay, where? Well, one is in my stomach, but... Is it in your what? In your stomach?
Go eat some food. Are you hungry? Or are you fasting? Are you starving? Are you marveling? What's going on? You will go eat food and you want to go eat food. You are wrong, man.
What part was that?
What does that mean?
As startling as this admission
my
is,
God,
Alex
what is
isn't
going
done with the horrifying reveals.
When did that happen? Yesterday. The other body parts, are they... Can you give me an idea where they are? You might be able to know. You might find them.
Did you put them in the rest of the body?
Oh my god.
Is it the rest of the body itself? Or did we just cut out certain parts? Or?
So that's dissected.
That's dissected. So where just
I mean, what charges am I facing right now? I mean, I'm already facing 30 years. So what charges am I facing?
what charges will you be facing? Well, from what you're telling me, you took his life, yes?
Okay. So
I'm asking. I know it was rhetorical. I shouldn't have said that. Did you take his life?
I mean, he's not in existence.
Okay.
I could have helped him fake his death.
Well, obviously, that would be murder charges. I mean, you're a smart guy. I mean, you know what they're basically going to be.
Let me what's over,
If you can tell me, are there pieces of Cujo in and around in or around your house? Excuse me. Is that a yes?
Wow, how is he laughing? It's crazy, dude.
Is it in the? How is it taken care of? Can you tell me any more than that?
His head is. Do you have anybody at the house right now?
Mm-hmm.
Can you get him on the phone?
Sure.
Through the phone, Alex guides the
This is
officer
that
to
part in
his
the beginning of
gruesome
the video.
leftovers.
Okay, go to the dining room. Okay, there's a big cabinet, a white cabinet that has like glass shelves on it. You see the white shelves? Now go to the bottom, move the box of books over there. At the bottom of the cabinet, move the boxes and open open one of the shelves. Do you see a bag of charcoal? Go ahead and open it. Do you see it? Okay.
What is this inside the bag? What exactly?
That's the only part.
That's the only part?
After recovering Cujo's severed hands and head, the officers were set on retrieving the rest of his remains. Alex revealed that he disposed of it in the dumpster of a nearby church and went so far as to brag that the chances of recovering it were slim to none. However, when officers investigated the dumpster for themselves, they discovered 2 duffel bags inside, infested with maggots. As they tried to remove one of the bags, it tore, and the officers were forced to watch in silent horror as Cujo's torso slid out and hit the pavement.
Oh my god, dude, that's awful. Lexton's never picking another video like this again.
Alex, if you can, since Tom wasn't sitting here just a second ago, just run through that with what you're telling the other detective.
Alex begins eagerly recounting a story so disgusting and despicable, it far outshines everything the detectives have learned thus far. Alex no longer has anything to hide, and as a consequence, he finally discusses in detail what happened the night he slaughtered Cujo. And it's more horrifying than anyone imagined.
It's that night, after everything took place. We didn't argue anything, but I did tell him, I'm not going to speak about anything like cannibalism. It was more so about him being, I asked him if he knows about cannibals, and he said he's heard of them and he'd find out. So I asked him, is he ready to die? And he's like, no, he's not ready to die. So, too bad you made the angel of death. And then what did you do, Alex? Well,
oh my god, what is this guy? Oh my god.
So, play some gospel music, and then he was sleeping. Came at him, I stood over him, and, went to work with the took the axe, and just went to work on his head, and hit him about twice. And after that, I let him bleed out, and then took his heart off. After I took his heart off, got my knife, cut him off.
This
That's
complete lack of
insane.
emotion is deeply
No
disturbing.
emotion. He's
But then again,
insane. He's
not
awful.
quite as
What the
disturbing as his
hell?
choice to play Cujo's favorite music while butchering him. Was he trying to give Cujo a final moment of peace before his execution? Or was he mocking his victim before sending him to his grave? Regardless, this sick preparation must have given Alex time to pause, to reconsider his actions, or even to selfishly consider that his next act would alter the course of his own life for good. But given that he chose to stand over Cujo in these moments, it seems more likely that Alex enjoyed this part of the process as well.
What the heck is this guy
He then
on? I've
proceeded
never
to
heard
swing
anybody
the same
like this.
long-handle axe he used to cut trees into Cujo's face, then cut him up the way he would the animals he trapped in his backyard.
Like, I've never heard of this case before, and this is the most insane thing I've ever heard.
This walk. I mean, did you program anything?
Wrapped him up in a bag.
And took him where?
To the church.
Any particular reason down the church? I mean, you know, is there any particular reason that you did that?
Unsymbolic.
You know, there was an issue with your brother. Finally, some things. Tell me about that.
Not what he found. He doesn't know, so.
Well, he's smart enough. Like you, I mean, he's smart.
Not that smart, but he doesn't know that circumstances
What? What do you mean it's not that smart?
behind because sometimes his judgment clouds him.
I think your judgment clouds you.
Because when I'm not around, he's the second, at least say the second in charge. And if he can't recognize the threats on his own family, then what is he going to do?
I still don't see a
What do you
threat.
think should happen to you for this?
I mean, did the dude put his hands? Check it out.
No. However, the action, that didn't make look insane towards society. But basically what I do is ancient, right? Of getting rid of skull.
And that's the way you look at Cujo.
That's ancient justice.
Though Alex may be basking in his crime, he seems lucid and afraid of punishment enough to minimize his own sentence by recommending he be remanded to a psychiatric facility. Even with everything he's revealed so far,
You're
Alex still had
insane.
one last sickening detail to share.
And
Understand?
again, I'm just trying to understand. This was totally symbolic on your part. You're cooking its head and hands. You removed his hands from his body so that they could not touch anyone anymore. I guess his head disgusted you, and you wanted to deform the head, cook away the hands, eat some of them, and you ate his heart.
That's the only part I did eat. I didn't eat his head. I tasted some of it. It's tasted like a principal barbecue sauce.
Oh my god, that's insane. I don't even want to hear that.
Just spice, full baked spice.
Whoa, my god, you're crazy.
Justice is that's how I look at it.
As sickening as this reveal is, it also could potentially answer one of the remaining questions. The police brought cadaver dogs to the Kinua home, and they did not indicate that there were any human remains. And yet, Alex had butchered and eaten parts of Cujo in the home, and he had a blood-covered mattress in his room.
Exactly, that's what I don't
The
get,
reason
the
the
mattress.
dogs didn't pick up on the scent could be due to the dog's training and experience, as well as the training and expertise of the handler. If a dog is not well trained, or if the dog is being used in a situation for which it is not trained, such as live detection versus human remains detection, the dog is likely to fail.
That's
It's
the
also important to
police's
note that by
part.
cooking and seasoning the body parts, much of the scent of the remains was destroyed.
What about the blood?
The dogs look for
Blood
things
is
like
different.
skin cells, and cooking would destroy them, potentially throwing off the dog's ability to
blood
detect
is
the remains.
different.
However, alone, spices and cooking will not prevent a properly trained dog and handler team from finding human remains. After nearly 6 hours total of interrogation, detectives may just now be meeting the real Alex Kinua.
I mean, this is, we have done it thousands of times, millions of times. I mean, this body is just temporary.
the body, then I could lose his body. I can't afford to lose my family's body, so
It's a beautiful day outside. It's a very beautiful day. For me here, no matter what the mission, it's always coming back. Because always the mission is first.
What's the mission?
That's so skulls are getting cracked.
Where's that coming from?
Skulls are getting extracted. Their brains are getting extracted. You know what happens when skulls get extracted? Their brains get sucked out. Their noses. When I'm gone, please believe. The whole recording.
Following his confession, Alexander Canibal was charged with first-degree murder and weapon carrying. Prior to a trial, he was diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia, and in August of 2013, he pleaded guilty but not criminally responsible.
Whoa,
He was then
how is he not
indefinitely
criminally
remanded to a
responsible?
state psychiatric facility. Though he was deemed unfit to stand trial, it is possible that he could be deemed competent in the future. Alex also pleaded guilty but not criminally responsible for the assault of Joshua Caesar.
Oh my god, chat. What did we just watch? That guy's literally insane. And he's not in prison. And oh my god, how you can do that to somebody and oh my god. I cannot believe what the hell I just watched, bro. But I think that'll do it. Chat, oh my god, that was insane. Terrifying.